Good morning. I wanted to get on here before I go to work. I'm having a hard time finding time to get on here. Been pretty busy, but there's something that really on my mind about um, men today and what kind of issue we have with men. What happened to men? And I think it goes way back to how uh, boys are raised, and I want to go to Ephesians chapter 6 and read the first um, 4 verses. It says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother, which is the first commandment with the promise, so that it may go well with you and that you may live long on the earth. Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord." Well, first off, we have a problem. In order for a father to instruct his children, the father has to be there. And we have a problem, not just in this country, but I think in a lot of the world. The fathers are not willing to stick around and be the dads. And so we have an issue with boys are not being taught by their dads how to be men. And I think this probably has been going on for several years, several decades. And now we're getting to a point where we really have no men left. And it starts at childhood. It starts with men growing up, young men growing up to be men, with some sort of direction, with a mentor, with a dad, with somebody in their life to show them what a man is. In order for a man to become, or a boy to become a man, he needs a man to set the example. And in a lot of cases, we don't have that. What we have is a lot of single moms, because the man won't stick around to be a dad. And so moms are trying to raise boys to be men when the mom is not a man, it's a woman. And so now we're heading into, or we've been heading down a downslope path of feminism, and man is more feminine today than masculine. And real men are slowly dissipating. We're losing the true manhood in the world. We don't have the leadership we need in the home. That's where it all begins, and it's damaging everything because it's not man to bring up these young men. And here's the thing, is decades ago, when all this started, we have women who take the role of man because man didn't. So I'm not blaming women for that. The women had to do what they had to do, moms had to do what they had to do. But it's because man did not step up to be men. And now there's nobody to teach our young men, young boys, how to become a man. And so when I read this and I get down to where it talks about bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord. Who's going to do that? We're talking about fathers here. Who's going to do that? If the father is not there, who's going to do that? Well, then it goes to the mother, and the mother knows how to be a mother and a woman, like, which are good. God had great position for mothers and women, and this is not cutting down the women. I'm cutting down the men here that won't stand up and be men. And we need more men to stand up and be dads and to show their children how to become men. And on the other side of this, we need men to show women what a gentleman looks like. We need a dad. Women, girls need a dad just as much as the boys do to show what a real man looks like. And as a result of no such thing, we have women that go after deadbeat boyfriends and deadbeat husbands because they didn't have an example of what a real man looks like. And so we've got a huge problem with the family setting in today's society. It's absolutely gone. And I put that on us men. We are not doing what we're supposed to be doing. We are not doing what we are supposed to be doing. Men are weak. They have become weak. And I'm doing everything I can to not be a bad influence, but to be a good influence on my boys. But I look around today and I cannot believe the lack of leadership among men. And you wonder why women are taking leadership roles in so many places that really they shouldn't have to, and it's because men have failed. We have walked away from our children and did not come in. And so, man, it's time we do something. It's time we, I think this is the reason behind a lot of things going on in the world, not just the feminine crisis, where everything is now feminine. There's no masculinity. There's no men anymore. Because men quit teaching the young boys how to be men. And we need both. We need masculinity and feminism. But what I mean by that is we need the man to do their role and the woman to do their role. Today we have, because of the lack of men, we had the women doing both roles. And that's not fair on the women, and it's certainly not fair on the children, because now they're being taught and led down the wrong path. It says here, like I said, to bring them up in the discipline and the instruction of the Lord. Being weak and not taking on your responsibility as a man kind of it severely hinders that. And we need to get this back. We need to get back to teaching our boys how to become real men, how to work, provide, and how to do the godly thing that God expects us to do. And that's all I have today, because that's been on my mind for quite some time, and men have become weak, and so our society has become weak, and we have no real men to do what real men need to do. We're lacking. There are over 7 million men that have refused to work. 7 million men in America are just absolutely refusing to work. That's a huge problem. Huge problem. There's so many more issues when it comes to men not stepping up to be men. And so, that's it. That's all I have today. Short video. Kind of disgusted with my fellow man. But, yeah. I'll be on here again soon, I hope. But for now, God bless. And try hard. Try harder to be a man. A real man. Not just a deadbeat. You know, anybody can be a father. But it takes a real man to be a dad. And that's what we need. We need more dads.